You're asleep, completely unconscious, flat on your back, unaware of everything around you, unable to run, unable to fight, unable to make any of the decisions that usually keep you alive. And somewhere out there, in forests and grasslands and savannas across the planet, there are animals large enough to kill you without effort. Animals that kill things far more dangerous than you on a regular basis, and almost none of them will touch you. Not because they can't, because something stops them. And that something is not what you think it is. Here's what most people assume. Predators leave sleeping humans alone because they're afraid of us, because our reputation as the planet's most dangerous species precedes us even into the dark, that a lion catches our scent, runs a quick calculation, and decides the risk isn't worth it. That's true as far as it goes, but it's the surface answer. Underneath it is something stranger, older, and considerably more interesting. A story about how predators read the world, what sleeping humans actually look like through that lens, and why the version of you that is most defenseless is, paradoxically, the version that is safest. To understand why predators ignore sleeping humans, you first need to understand how predators make decisions at all. Because it isn't guesswork. It isn't instinct in the vague, hand-wavy sense the word usually implies. It is a system. A finely calibrated threat and reward calculation running continuously in the background of every predator's nervous system, shaped by millions of years of trial and error, updated generation by generation based on what worked and what got the predator killed. Researchers call the environment that emerges from this system the landscape of fear. It's the idea that predators don't just respond to prey when they're standing right in front of them. They build mental maps of risk and reward across entire territories. Which species fight back? Which flee predictably? Which travel in groups? Which are worth the energy cost of a chase? And which aren't? Every prey animal in that territory has a profile, a threat rating. A cost-benefit summary built from accumulated experience, both individual and generational. Humans have a profile in that system. And it is not the profile of easy prey. It is the profile of something that has been killing predators, consistently across every habitat using weapons that don't require proximity, for a very long time. A 2016 study from the University of Western Ontario found that large predators, including mountain lions, fled from the sound of human voices at more than twice the rate they fled from other predators. Not from the sight of a weapon, not from an aggressive display. From the sound of casual conversation, the threat profile of a human being is encoded that deeply. But here's what that doesn't explain. If humans are so consistently encoded as dangerous, why would the calculus change at night? Why would a leopard that avoids a standing human even approach a sleeping one? The answer starts with something most people never consider. To a predator operating at night, a sleeping human doesn't present the same signal as a waking one. Not visually, not chemically, not behaviorally. In almost every dimension that predators use to assess threat, the sleeping human is transmitting differently. Start with movement. Predator threat assessment is heavily motion-dependent. A still object and a moving object register as categorically different stimuli in the nervous systems of most large carnivores. The specific posture and gait of an upright, moving human, that distinctive bipedal silhouette in motion, is part of what triggers the threat response. A horizontal, motionless form in low light doesn't produce the same red. It doesn't pattern match cleanly to the thing the predator has learned to avoid. Then there's scent, and this is where it gets genuinely strange. Research on predator olfactory response has found that human scent triggers aversion responses in wildlife comparable to predator urine. That signal is powerful and consistent. But scent behaves differently at night. Temperatures drop. Air becomes more stable. Scent dispersal changes. And critically, a sleeping human's scent profile shifts. Lower respiratory rate, reduced skin temperature, different hormonal output. The chemical broadcast of a sleeping body is measurably quieter than a waking one. Add to this the behavioral layer. Predators read behavioral cues constantly. Eye contact, posture, directed attention. These are all threat signals. A sleeping human offers none of them. No eye contact, no directed posture, no responsive movement. From a predator's perspective, the threat signals that define a human as dangerous have gone quiet. This doesn't mean the predator no longer registers you as human. It means the specific configuration of signals that trigger avoidance has partially dissolved. And in that gap, something else takes over. Here is the part that goes deepest. The reason predators maintain wariness around sleeping humans isn't only about the signals in the moment. It's about memory. Specifically, a kind of memory that doesn't belong to any individual animal. It belongs to the species. For tens of thousands of years, early humans didn't sleep in sealed structures. They slept in the open, or in shallow shelters, in groups, around fires. And they were not passive while doing it. Humans slept in shifts. They posted sentinels. They maintained fire through the night, not only for warmth, but because fire is one of the most reliable predator deterrents known to behavioral ecology. Predators that approached sleeping human groups did not reliably find easy prey. They found fire, they found noise, they found coordinated group response. Sometimes they found a spear. The predators that survived were the ones that learned generationally that a sleeping human group was not a safe target. Not because the individual humans were dangerous in their sleep, but because the context around them was unpredictable in exactly the way predators find most aversive. Unpredictability in the predator's calculus is more dangerous than a known threat. A known threat can be assessed. An unpredictable one cannot. Amboseli researcher Alastair Houston has documented this pattern across multiple African predator species. That human sleeping sites, even when humans are present and clearly at rest, are avoided at rates that can't be explained by scent alone. The avoidance is behavioral and historical. It was earned over thousands of years of humans being exactly the kind of prey that fights back even when it appears not to. And then there are the exceptions. Because they exist, and they matter. And they reveal something the tidy version of this story leaves out. The documented cases of predators attacking sleeping humans, the Tsavo lions of 1898, specific leopard incursions in rural India, isolated hyena attacks in sub-Saharan Africa, share something consistent. In almost every case, something had changed. The fire was out, the group was separated, the human was alone and far from shelter. The signals that encode sleeping humans as risky had been removed, one by one, until what remained no longer matched the threat profile. The predator didn't change. The context did. So why do predators ignore sleeping humans? Not because we are safe. Not because we are beneath their interest. Because we have spent hundreds of thousands of years making sleeping near us a reliable way to get hurt. And predator memory is long. The wariness isn't about what you are when you're unconscious. It's about what humans have repeatedly proven to be when something approaches in the dark. What's remarkable is that this protection persists even now, even in a world where most humans sleep inside, where fire is optional, where the evolutionary context that created it has largely dissolved. The memory outlasted the behavior that built it. You are still in the nervous systems of animals that have never seen a spear or a fire or a coordinated group defense categorized as something that is not worth approaching in the dark. There is something genuinely strange about that. Every night, without knowing it, you are benefiting from a reputation your ancestors spent millennia building. You didn't earn it. You inherited it. And for now, at least, it still holds. You already knew the world was dangerous while you were awake. It turns out the world decided a very long time ago that you were more dangerous than it. Sleep well.